All right, welcome back here to The Hill. So Harvard continuing to stand by President Claudine Gay, despite additional accusations now of plagiarism. Now, the school is allowing her to add attributions to some of her works, but again, cleared her of research misconduct. But the new charges are leading to an expanded investigation by the House Education Committee that includes the plagiarism accusations. Now, committee chairwoman Virginia Fox says that federal funding to Harvard is, quote, conditioned upon the school's adherence to the standards of a recognized accreditor. What about this idea of, you know what, if we don't like the way things are going at Harvard and with Claudine Gay, you get money from the feds?
The House GOP is just so misguided.
What's misguided about this? The hearing, I think, opened up a lot of eyes.
Business. This is Harvard, but this is retribution against the president of Harvard because she did not denounce Semitism or the factual layout and say, yes, that was Semitism, that was anti-Semitism, and actions needed to be taken. Now, Harvard has cleared her. This plagiarism issue isn't really plagiarism. It's adding credit. So it's not like she was writing something and stole all this material and then published it and what have you. It happens all the time at the high academic.
What's the difference between taking something and not attributing it and plagiarizing?
It's called giving credit where credit is due.
But when you don't give that credit, what is it called?
Well, errors happen, and that's why they're letting her go back to correct it. That's why Harvard's dealing with it. They're still standing behind her. The House GOP doesn't like it, and this is retribution.
So, okay,
political retribution.
I'm just glad you said that. I want to go around the table real quick. Okay. He says it's quote-unquote political retribution. Yes or no?
I agree with that. I mean, I think, but...
Oh, it probably is.
Mick?
To a certain extent, there's no question.
Yeah. Okay, so then is it wrong about possibly dangling, federal funds?
No, keep in mind, they've got a lot of problems. They got a Title IX problem. That's going to pop up. They're going to have a difficulty because
every college in America has Title IX problems.
That's right. But, well, we don't hear about them at Harvard. But I think this is where this is going, Scott, is that there's going to be a debate now, not on way taking federal funding, right? I don't think there's a chance of that. You may hear a discussion about taxing the endowment. That is a big deal.
J.D. Vance is talking about that.
But what just happened right before we got on air is another billionaire is, stopping his money that he's giving to Harvard. I mean, the reputational risk of Harvard right now is what's really...
I want to get Jonathan in, and then I'm going to end with Scott, but go.
She's going to be out of her position before Congress even gets to ask because the donors are going to cut off the money. You can't have that much scandal and that much spotlight on you when your job is to not have scandal and spotlight.
Carol Swain is where the plagiarism accusations come from, or at least some of her work. She spoke to Elizabeth Vargas last night.
My argument is that her whole dissertation topic, how she approached it, and the articles that I read were derivative of my work, and that she did not adequately acknowledge that in what should have been a literature review.
You would say what?
I would say she's probably right about that, but that doesn't mean she doesn't need or deserve to be president of Harvard University. I think you're right about one thing. If the donations dry up or the major contributors start to wane, and they haven't yet, or if they have, Harvard is still sticking with her, then she survives. If she doesn't, she shouldn't be fired because she made a huge error in judgment before the House and made a huge error in not giving the right attribution for some of her publications from 5, 10, 20 years ago.
If you're the board of directors and you're of a corporation and your CEO is driving away customers, there are people now sending back the acceptance letters to Harvard, and you're driving away investors, the donors are running away from Harvard, that board would get rid of the CEO under the reputational
Why
risk.
are they still backing her then? If all that's true, and I believe you, okay, why are they still backing her?
There was actually one of them who said it today. It was a member of the board of directors who said he would take this a lot more seriously if it wasn't aligning with the narrative of the right. That is a problem. Yeah. That's what if a board member is saying that, look, this is a serious matter, but since the Republicans are saying
I sit on the board of Morehouse College, right? Okay. And the reality is that once you pick a president, that board is invested with that president. As the president goes, the boards go, because that's our selection, if you will.
Correct.
So you've got to stick with her until you can't. And I think there's circumstances where the board will say, okay, we can't. And that's what we're waiting on, and that's what you're talking about.
I just want to go back. Students aren't allowed to go or kicked out of Harvard if they plagiarize. So I think that the president of the school should have the same standards.
Out of 100
Depends on the
cases
degree.
of academic investigations in 2021, 42 were about plagiarism. By the way, at Harvard, $676 million in federal funding in 2023. That is 11% of total revenue. And thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.